So, 2022. Definitely one of the years of all time. I hope this year went well for you, but let's talk about me since this is my year review. All things considered, I think this was a pretty good year for me, especially on YouTube. After a year's worth of hard work, I produced, directed, and edited 31 videos. Okay, now that I say it out loud, it doesn't sound like a lot. In fact, that's like 2 videos per month. And of those 31, only about 7 of them had any real effort put into them. But where this year differs from every other year is that I feel that this was the first time I made stuff that I actually cared about. To an outsider, this channel probably looks like a generic gaming channel, which it most definitely is, and I can't blame anyone for thinking that. But to me, there are some things here and there that I unironically feel proud of, as silly as that sounds. At the beginning of the year, I made a video where I stated some of the goals and big projects that I wanted to accomplish by the end of it. So let's have a look at that and see how I did. As for future plans of mine, I wanted to record a couple playthroughs of some games that I like and edit them for both practice and to make them funnier, hopefully. These games include the Halo trilogy, as well as ODST and Reach, Portal 1 and 2, the first Mirror's Edge, and maybe Half-Life. But once again, these are big promises, and I have no idea how I will make them work. Why do I do this to myself? Well, we still don't have the Halo trilogy, ODST, or Half-Life. But we do have Halo Reach, Portal 1 and 2, and Mirror's Edge. So, in the end, I accomplished about half of those things. And the end result of those I remain pretty satisfied with to this day. Let's start with Mirror's Edge. I've always wanted a space to talk about this game as it had a profound impact on my impression of what games could do. And now that I have this channel, I finally had a chance to do that. This game was my first attempt at a small video essay as well as a let's play. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with how it all turned out, although I'm not sure about doing another episodic series anytime soon. Next, we have the first Halo game I played on my own, Reach. You may notice that this game has absolutely nothing to do with the previous game, and that's because my interests are about as far apart as Twitter users are from touching grass. In a similar fashion to the Mirror's Edge video, this one had a monologue followed by a let's play that I condensed into about an hour. I'm pretty happy with this video, as I feel I started a format that I could follow for other story games I may play in the future. Towards July, there was the Steam Summer Sale, where I finally picked up Portal 1 and 2. Now these are games that I had heard many good things about, but I never got around to playing them because not once during my teen years did it cross my mind that grinding GTA, Roblox, and Minecraft every summer was not making me a real gamer. Knowing this, I am proud to report that, with no prior experience in Portal or Source games, I beat Portal 1 and 2 in 2.5 hours and 5.5 hours respectively. Now where do I redeem my street cred? I started Portal 1 as a test recording, but I just kept playing and I eventually realized I beat the game. Now, I initially thought I was going to condense the game down like I had done with Halo Reach, but then I remembered a song. The 8-Bit Big Band's postmodern jukebox style cover of Still Alive. I had been listening to the song for a while at this point, and it may or may not have been one of the reasons I even became interested in the game. I thought about how cool it would be to incorporate the song into a video with the game, as I really liked it. And then I had the brilliant idea of just putting gameplay over the entire song, as if it were a music video. The end result was a video that I'm still extremely happy with to this day. I put it together on a whim, and after about a week of editing and revising, I uploaded it. This video was the major motivator for the sequel. The Portal 2 video was, in my opinion, the pinnacle of my summer, and all the skills that I had accumulated up until that point. I knew going in that I was going to do a music video style project with the footage I'd gathered, but the gameplay ended up not being enough. After watching some videos on the game, I learned about a mod that the speedrunners use called Source Auto Record, which would allow you to view Shell, or the player, in third person. This was a game changer, and after about a week of messing around, recording, and editing, I ended up with one of my most favorite videos to this day. I know this sounds like I'm tooting my own horn, and I am, but I have no one else to share this with. Moving past the summer projects, I also made the Midnight Racing Tokyo video, which was my first attempt at a vehicle cinematic. There was a scene in this video that required me to mask out an object, which I didn't know how to do. I vividly remember watching a tutorial and spending the next 4 hours meticulously moving around a couple points for every single frame in a 2-second shot. This project taught me the importance of patience, because the end result is some of my best editing work. I also learned how crucial video editing tutorials are. No matter what software you use, if you have a question, there is a good chance that 100 videos exist for that exact thing. Finally, we have the latest video, Freedom Awaits. This was a bit of a side project that got started because one night I booted up the game and lost a kill streak. I was so devastated by this that I decided to chronicle my rise back to that same kill streak and turn it into a kind of AMV. The end result? I'm pretty happy with it. But despite those videos, I still had some unfulfilled goals, which remained unfulfilled to this day. Is there something in the way of me making things? What is it that stops me from doing the things I tell myself I want to do? I don't know. I'm just lazy. I'm not even sure what I really want out of YouTube yet, so I'm just trying things that I think I want to do. I'll admit to watching way more videos than I make. What can I say? I'm just a memer. The overall creative process is not something I really understand. Sometimes a video idea stays on a document, other times it gets uploaded in 4K. On a more real note, I only like making things when I have a good idea for something, which doesn't happen very often. When I make a video imitating a style, no matter how much I try to make it different from the references, there is always the lingering thought that I didn't come up with something original. I still like putting my own spin on things though, and it helps me reconcile with the notion of originality by simply not caring about ripping off ideas as long as you credit them in the description. This past year, I've learned a lot of skills regarding making videos, which I think are some of the most valuable things that you can get by doing any kind of hobby. I've somewhat learned how to make thumbnails, and I've done a pinch of Photoshop, which I think is a real improvement over myself from a year ago, where I didn't even know how to capitalize letters. There goes a saying that the majority of video editing is selection, essentially deciding what clips go in and what clips stay out. While this is a tip mostly for filmmakers, I still think it's important to keep in mind. When I record things, I always try to get more footage than I will realistically use. I usually can't imagine what a finished video will look like, so having extra footage, even if I don't use it, helps me be sure that every shot will have something to look at. Just like spending time playing video games, spending time with your editing software, I use the free version of Resolve by the way, can be very helpful for learning your way around it, and I'd argue is more productive than just recording games. I've also written a lot more for YouTube than I have for any English class I've ever taken. Turns out that writing is pretty easy when there's no word count requirement or grade, and the subject matter is something you actually care about. Taking a look back at all the things I've done this year, as insignificant as they may seem in comparison to other people, even other YouTubers, I think I can confidently say that this was a good year. Oh damn, the screen went dark. Jarvis, cue the emotional music. I want to reiterate the message I had from last year's review, which was about starting new things. More specifically, starting YouTube. I know I wasn't the only kid who grew up wanting to do YouTube, but got caught up in the winds of life and ended up going through their entire childhood not making a single video. Well, at least one that's not private. And then you realize you spent your entire adolescence telling yourself you wanted something without taking the steps to get it. And now you're moving on with school or jobs and are headed towards a path that you might not have wanted. To anyone who feels this way and is hesitant on starting a YouTube channel, just remember that if you regret not starting earlier, the second best time to start is now. Super generic, I know. Furthermore, if you have an idea for something, literally anything, write it down, please. This goes for YouTube as well. I personally have a few note documents that I write all my stupid video ideas down on. Even if I know I don't have the editing skills, or knowledge of memes, or hard drive space, or friends to help me make them. I still do it because I don't believe ideas are worth throwing away if they come from a place of creativity. You may not realize what you're capable of, or what you might learn along the way. With that, I think I've covered all I wanted to talk about. As for more recent news, I have some videos that I've been slowly making progress on, so hopefully I'll get around to finishing those soon. I hope you have a good New Year's. 2023 is our year, boys. Anyways, I've been your Capitan, signing off. Thanks so much for watching.